Good afternoon. Thanks so much for joining us, and joining us now, Laura Bramnick from TalkRealEstateAZ.com. Laura is an attorney specializing in real estate, also a real estate agent, and more information is at TalkRealEstateAZ.com. Hi, Laura.
Hi, Sinclair.
You specialize in residential, commercial, land transactions, and since you're an attorney, you can really help with a lot of different areas when it comes to negotiating the purchase or sale of real estate.
That's correct.
And if folks want to contact you, your phone number 480-624-2705, 480-624-2705, and the website talkrealestateaz.com. Many times, and particularly when it comes to commercial, I think, there are personal guarantees that come into play in real estate, and a lot of folks just don't even realize that they are making a personal guarantee.
That's absolutely true. Small businesses and companies that buy property for their business many times need a loan, and as a result, you go to a bank or you'll go to the Small Business Administration and you'll get a loan, and then they ask for a personal guarantee because you may be buying it in the name of a corporation or an LLC or a partnership or some entity. And as you and I talked before, one of the benefits of a corporation or an LLC is that your personal assets are protected.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you go to borrow money, the banks say, well, we need to get to more than just whatever assets are in your company, unless you can give us a very good reason why we shouldn't. So
And we should also mention this also will frequently apply to commercial leases as well.
yes, absolutely true. And so it's not unusual, and you want to read the personal guarantee carefully, number one, because it can be very far-reaching, and you want to know what you're signing because, you're putting up your personal assets. Well, what are your personal assets? Well, they can be your home. They can be any other property if you have a vacation home. They can be investment property. They can be bank accounts, securities, anything, if you have a car collection or an antique collection, all of those things.
In fact, I believe there was a recent past couple of years, a Supreme Court case on inherited IRAs.
That's right. And so you want to be sure what you're exposing, and you may be able to limit it. In other words, you may be able to protect your securities if you put up your house, those types of things. And many people need money to run their business or to buy property for their business or property where they're going to locate their business. So many times personal guarantee is necessary. It's very hard to negotiate that out.
You even mentioned, I believe, SBA loans, Small Business Administration loans, often require personal guarantees?
Yeah, they require a personal guarantee and many times collateral. They want you to put up your house. And so that, is something that you need to be aware of. The thing about SBA loans is that they are dischargeable in bankruptcy. And that's one reason they do want to put a lien on your house, because if you discharge the debt in bankruptcy, they can still get the equity in your house through their lien. That doesn't get discharged in a bankruptcy, a lien, just the debt.
Mm-hmm.
And so the SBA is, they're very good about lending money for what you need. They have a lot of programs, but they want it paid back.
Now, you just said something, and I almost let it slide by. Debt can be discharged in bankruptcy, but the lien will stay.
Correct.
Well, isn't that clever?
Yes. And the best example is people who have a second mortgage on their house. Let's say they took it out to buy other investment property or to buy a car and put in a pool. things that aren't protected by our anti-deficiency laws. And then they maybe lose their job, they can't make the payments, and they file bankruptcy because maybe they have other, they try to avoid bankruptcy and they run up their credit cards and they realize that they're just too far underwater, so they file bankruptcy. They don't have to pay the debt, but if there's any equity in the property where the lien is, the bank will foreclose.
This brings up another point. I'm thinking Arizona is a community property state.
Yes, Arizona is a community property state, and as a result, when you get a loan and you're married, your spouse needs to sign. Because otherwise, the lender may not be able to go after your assets as easily as when your spouse signs. And also, in a community property state, and many of your assets are commingled with your spouse. So the lenders don't want to go through the hassle of trying to figure out what assets are community property, what assets are yours, what assets are hers, so they make both people sign. And it just makes it a lot easier to go after those assets. The general rule is that assets and liabilities that were purchased or acquired during the marriage are community assets and debts. And so the lenders want to have access to that. And if your spouse won't sign, many times you won't get the loan.
Wow.
So it's important to understand what the requirements are. Now, let's say you really don't want to sign a personal guarantee. What are the circumstances that most likely the bank will not require that? And that is, one, if you have an established history of borrowing money and paying it back. If you have sufficient assets in your company, whether it's your cash flow, your capital, reserve capital, or other like tangible assets, like your company owns other real estate or equipment, those types of things. And also if you have things you can put up as collateral. So if you can find, the main thing is to offer the lender something that makes them feel comfortable that they're going to get paid back.
Can you limit what they will consider as personal property that they could go after?
Usually not.
Usually it's just kind of a personal guarantee and that covers everything.
It covers everything. But that is something that I recommend you negotiate. In other words, if you can limit the assets they can go after. But most of the banks will not do that because they don't want to take the time to go after some assets and not others.
Right. But as you've said, real estate is all about negotiation, and that's why it's so important, I think, to have not just a real estate agent helping you in the negotiation, but an attorney who specializes in real estate and knows all the ins and outs and can really turn you into the most effective negotiator possible.
And also, if you're a business, shop banks. In other words, if you have a good relationship with your bank and they handle all of your business banking, they're less likely to be strict about a personal guarantee.
Okay.
Because they know about your business. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so there are ways to be smarter. And sometimes we can't eliminate risks, but we can reduce them.
Great info. Laura Bramnick, talkrealestateaz.com. That's the website. All the contact info is there, including the phone number, 480-624-2705. 480-624-2705. And the website again, talkrealestateaz.com. Laura, important info. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Sinclair.